Imagine holding a coin that's survived nearly a century and still has collectors searching for the smallest hidden details. Welcome back to Change Your Life. In today's countdown, we're exploring 3 buffalo nickels that continue to capture the interest of collectors. 1936 Buffalo Nickel. 1930 Buffalo Nickel, no mint mark. 1936 Buffalo Nickel. With the legendary American bison reverse design and classic copper-nickel alloy composition, these nickels are among the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Many are worn and heavily circulated, but that's exactly where surprising discoveries can happen. Throughout this video, you'll see the dates, mint marks, and small details that collectors often examine when evaluating these historic coins. Don't miss the final coin, it has a fascinating story that many Buffalo nickel fans never expect. Let's uncover coin number 1. The year was 1936, and America was still climbing out of the Great Depression. Every coin passing from one hand to another carried real buying power, and millions of Buffalo nickels entered circulation without anyone imagining that a few would one day become prized collector's items. Today, one particular coin has captured the attention of numismatists across the United States, the 1936 Buffalo nickel. At first glance, it often looks ordinary. Many surviving examples are dirty, heavily worn, and covered with decades of circulation marks. Yet experienced collectors know that appearance alone never tells the whole story. Sometimes the most valuable discoveries are hidden beneath years of honest wear. The Buffalo nickel remains one of the most admired coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Designed by sculptor James Earl Fraser, the coin first appeared in 1913 with a goal unlike any previous American 5-cent piece. Instead of using traditional European-inspired artwork, Fraser created a design that celebrated the nation's own history. The obverse features a powerful portrait of a Native American created from the combined features of several indigenous leaders, while the reverse displays the famous American bison standing proudly on a mound. Together, these designs transformed a simple circulating coin into a lasting work of American art. The coin featured in today's story was struck at the San Francisco Mint, identified by the small S mint mark beneath the words 5 cents on the reverse. During 1936, millions of Buffalo nickels were produced across different mint facilities, but the San Francisco issue was struck in much smaller numbers than many Philadelphia examples. Because these nickels circulated heavily during the late 1930s and throughout World War II, finding well-preserved examples has become increasingly difficult. Imagine pulling an old Buffalo nickel from a forgotten coin jar. The surface is dark from decades of circulation. The high points of the Native American portrait have softened with wear, and the bison's fur shows little remaining detail. Many people would assume the coin has no special value because it looks old and damaged. However, collectors know that heavily circulated condition does not automatically mean a coin is worthless. In fact, originality often matters more than perfection. One reason the 1936 Buffalo nickel attracts so much attention is its combination of history, limited survival in higher grades, and the possibility of interesting die varieties. Over the years, specialists have studied tiny differences in strikes, lettering, and die characteristics. While most examples are common circulated coins worth modest premiums, exceptional pieces with desirable characteristics can command impressive prices when professionally authenticated. The copper-nickel alloy used for Buffalo nickels consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin both durability and its distinctive gray appearance. After decades of use, that surface often develops natural toning ranging from soft gray to deep charcoal colors. Some collectors actually prefer these original surfaces because they tell the story of a coin that truly served the American public rather than sitting untouched inside a collection. Take a closer look at the obverse. Even on worn examples, the profile remains instantly recognizable. The word Liberty appears near the right edge, while the date 1936 sits along the shoulder. On many circulated coins, the date may appear weaker because it occupies one of the highest points of the design. Collectors carefully inspect this area because a clearly visible date often adds to overall desirability. Turning the coin over reveals the legendary American bison, one of the greatest reverse designs ever placed on a United States coin. The animal stands with remarkable strength despite the small size of the nickel. Beneath the denomination, the tiny S mint mark confirms production at San Francisco. Even if the coin appears dirty or worn, experienced collectors examine this area closely for strike quality, die markers, and any unusual characteristics that may separate it from ordinary examples. Another fascinating aspect of the 1936 issue is how many examples spent decades moving through everyday commerce. These nickels purchased meals during difficult economic times, paid for streetcar rides, and changed hands in neighborhood stores across America. Every scratch, rim nick, and smooth surface reflects a journey through history. For many collectors, that history creates a connection that brilliant uncirculated coins simply cannot match. Because buffalo nickels remained in circulation for many years, countless pieces were eventually lost, melted, or damaged beyond recognition. Others were cleaned improperly by owners hoping to improve their appearance. Professional collectors generally prefer coins that retain original, untouched surfaces, even if they show honest circulation wear. Cleaning can permanently reduce collector interest, while natural aging often preserves historical authenticity. Auction interest in quality 1936 buffalo nickels has remained strong for decades. Certified high-grade examples and recognized varieties regularly attract serious bidding among advanced collectors. Prices depend heavily on condition, rarity, eye appeal, and professional grading. While ordinary circulated coins usually sell for modest amounts, exceptional specimens with rare characteristics or outstanding preservation have achieved remarkable auction results. Every valuable example, however, requires expert authentication before any significant value can be confirmed. Modern technology has also changed the way collectors study buffalo nickels. High-resolution photography and digital magnification allow specialists to inspect tiny details that earlier generations could easily overlook. Small die cracks, repunched design elements, strike differences, and other production characteristics can now be documented with much greater accuracy, adding new excitement to this classic American series. Perhaps the greatest appeal of the 1936 buffalo nickel lies in its ability to surprise people. An old, dark coin sitting unnoticed inside a family collection may appear ordinary for decades before someone recognizes its true significance. That possibility continues to inspire collectors to examine every buffalo nickel they encounter, no matter how worn or unattractive it may first appear. If the 1936 buffalo nickel represents a coin struck during a period of steady production, the 1930 buffalo nickel with no mint mark tells a very different story. It comes from a time when the United States was entering one of the hardest economic periods in its history. Factories were slowing down, businesses were closing, and Americans were carefully counting every nickel they spent. Ironically, one of those ordinary 5-cent coins has become a fascinating collectible nearly a century later. Unlike buffalo nickels struck in Denver or San Francisco, the 1930 issue without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia coins of this era normally carry no mint mark, which often confuses new collectors. Many people assume the mint mark has worn away, but on genuine 1930 Philadelphia nickels, no mint mark was ever placed on the coin in the first place. Knowing this simple detail helps collectors identify authentic examples correctly. At first glance, a heavily circulated 1930 buffalo nickel may seem disappointing. The date could appear weak from decades of use. The Native American portrait might show smooth cheeks and faded hair details. On the reverse, the American bison may have lost much of its original texture after passing through thousands of transactions. Yet experienced collectors understand that these signs of circulation are part of the coin story, not necessarily a reason to ignore it. By 1930, the Buffalo nickel had already become a familiar sight across the United States. Americans carried these coins in their pockets every day to buy newspapers, bread, coffee, or transportation. Few people imagined they were handling a coin that would someday become one of the most recognizable classics in American numismatics. The artwork remained unchanged from James Earl Fraser's original design introduced in 1913. The obverse displays a powerful portrait inspired by Native American leaders, while the reverse features the famous American bison standing firmly above the denomination 5 cents. Even after years of circulation, the design continues to reflect the strength and character that made the Buffalo nickel one of America's most admired coins. One reason collectors continue searching for the 1930 Philadelphia issue is its historical setting. This coin entered circulation just as the country was facing severe financial uncertainty. During those difficult years, very few people saved everyday nickels. Most were used continuously until they became badly worn. As a result, attractive original examples are much scarcer today than many people expect. The coin itself was struck using a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, giving it excellent durability for everyday commerce. Over many decades, that alloy naturally develops shades of gray, brown, and darker toning. A dirty appearance is not always a negative feature. When the color developed naturally through age rather than cleaning or artificial treatment, many collectors consider it evidence of originality. Collectors often spend time studying the date, lettering, and overall strike quality of 1930 Buffalo nickels. Some examples display stronger details than others because dies gradually wore down during production. A sharply struck coin may show clearer feather details on the Native American portrait and stronger fur lines on the bison. Even small differences in strike quality can influence collector demand. Because the coin carries no mint mark, identifying it is straightforward once collectors understand Philadelphia's production practices. Instead of focusing on a mint mark, specialists examine other characteristics such as surface preservation, dye markers, natural toning, and overall originality. These features often determine whether a coin attracts serious attention at auctions. Many surviving 1930 Buffalo nickels spent decades inside cash drawers, family businesses, and neighborhood stores before finally disappearing into old collections. Some remained forgotten in cigar boxes or dresser drawers for generations. Others continued circulating until the Buffalo nickel series ended in 1938 and was replaced by the Jefferson nickel. Those long years of circulation explain why many examples appear worn today. Professional grading services play an important role when evaluating higher-value Buffalo nickels. Experts inspect the coin under magnification to confirm that the surfaces remain original and that no cleaning, tooling, or alterations have affected the design. Authentication gives collectors greater confidence, especially when purchasing rare or high-grade examples. Auction prices for the 1930 Buffalo nickel vary dramatically depending on condition and rarity. Most circulated coins remain affordable for beginning collectors, while exceptional mint-state examples with outstanding eye appeal can command impressive premiums. Coins with unusual die characteristics or remarkable preservation often generate the strongest competition whenever they appear in major numismatic sales. Another reason this coin remains popular is its connection to everyday American history. Unlike many commemorative coins that spent their lives in collections, Buffalo nickels were true workhorses of commerce. Every worn edge and smooth surface reflects countless real-world transactions during one of the most significant periods of the 20th century. That historical connection gives the coin an appeal that extends far beyond its face value. Today, collectors still search rolls of old nickels, inherited collections, estate sales, and antique shops hoping to uncover an overlooked 1930 Buffalo nickel with attractive original surfaces. Although finding a high-grade example is becoming increasingly difficult, discoveries continue to remind collectors that valuable pieces of history can still appear in unexpected places. The 1930 Buffalo nickel proves that a coin does not need flashy errors or dramatic damage to capture collector interest. Sometimes, its greatest strength comes from its historical importance, classic American design, and the remarkable journey it has taken through nearly a century of circulation. That combination keeps this no-mint mark Buffalo nickel firmly on the wish list of collectors who appreciate both history and enduring craftsmanship. The final coin in today's countdown takes us to the Rocky Mountains, where the Denver Mint produced one of the most interesting Buffalo nickels of the 1930s, the 1930-60 Buffalo nickel. While millions of these coins once circulated across the United States, only a fraction have survived in attractive original condition. Many examples are heavily worn, darkened by decades of use, and often overlooked in old collections. Yet seasoned collectors know that this date deserves a closer look because hidden among ordinary pieces are coins that continue to attract impressive attention in today's numismatic market. When people first examine a circulated 1930-60 Buffalo nickel, they often focus on its worn appearance. The Native American portrait may have smooth facial features, the date could be lighter than expected, and the American bison on the reverse may show only traces of its original fur detail. To someone unfamiliar with coin collecting, the nickel might seem too damaged to be important. However, experienced collectors understand that honest circulation tells a story, and originality is often far more desirable than a coin that has been harshly cleaned or altered. The small D mint mark appears beneath the denomination 5 cents on the reverse, identifying the coin as a product of the Denver Mint. During the mid-1930s, Denver played a major role in supplying nickels to the western United States, and these coins quickly entered everyday commerce. They were used in grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and countless local businesses before eventually finding their way into collections many decades later. Like every Buffalo nickel, the 1930-60 issue features the iconic artwork created by James O. Fraser. The obverse presents a powerful Native American portrait that symbolizes America's indigenous heritage, while the reverse showcases the famous American bison standing confidently on raised ground. Even after years of circulation, the design remains one of the most recognizable in American coin history. The coin was struck from a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, a durable composition designed to withstand constant use. Over time, this metal develops natural shades of gray, charcoal, and light brown depending on how and where the coin circulated. Collectors often appreciate these original colors because they demonstrate natural aging rather than artificial cleaning or chemical treatment. One feature that makes the 1930-60 Buffalo nickel particularly interesting is the quality of its strike. Some coins from this issue display crisp details with sharp feathers, bold lettering, and strong definition on the bison. Others show softer details caused by worn dies or production differences. These variations encourage collectors to compare examples carefully, searching for coins with stronger overall eye appeal. The Denver Mint produced a substantial number of Buffalo nickels during 1936, but mintage alone never determines rarity. Decades of heavy circulation, improper storage, cleaning, and environmental exposure dramatically reduced the number of well-preserved examples available today. As a result, original coins with attractive surfaces and solid detail continue to receive strong interest whenever they appear on the market. Collectors also pay close attention to possible die varieties and mint-made characteristics found on certain 1930-60 nickels. Tiny die cracks, repunched elements, or unusual strike features can make one example stand out from thousands of ordinary coins. These details require careful examination under magnification and, when verified by professional grading services, may increase collector demand. The journey of a circulated 1930-60 Buffalo nickel is often just as fascinating as the coin itself. Imagine a nickel leaving the Denver Mint in 1936 and spending years traveling across America. It may have passed through railroad stations, family-owned diners, movie theaters, or small-town general stores. During World War II, it could have remained in circulation while millions of Americans continued using buffalo nickels for daily purchases. Every mark on the surface represents another chapter in that remarkable history. Professional authentication has become increasingly important in today's coin market. Before assigning significant value, grading specialists examine the coin's surfaces, strike quality, originality, and overall preservation. They also look for evidence of cleaning, repair, or other alterations that might reduce collector interest. A certified coin provides buyers with greater confidence and often performs better in competitive auctions. Auction demand for high-quality 1930-60 buffalo nickels has remained steady because collectors continue building complete buffalo nickel sets. While ordinary circulated pieces are generally affordable, exceptional mint state examples and recognized premium varieties have achieved impressive prices. The final value always depends on condition, eye appeal, rarity, and professional certification rather than the date alone. Another reason collectors admire this coin is its connection to one of America's most beloved coin series. The buffalo nickel was produced for only 25 years before being replaced by the Jefferson nickel in 1938. That relatively short production period has made the series especially attractive to collectors who appreciate classic American designs and historical significance. Modern technology has also renewed interest in buffalo nickels. High-resolution photography and digital microscopes now reveal tiny production details that earlier generations of collectors could easily miss. Every year, specialists continue documenting subtle die characteristics, giving collectors even more reasons to study coins that once seemed ordinary. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the 1930-60 buffalo nickel is that remarkable discoveries are not always obvious. A dark, worn nickel tucked away inside an old family collection may look insignificant until someone recognizes its originality, historical importance, and collector appeal. That possibility continues to inspire coin hunters to search estate sales, antique shops, bank rolls, and inherited collections in hopes of finding the next outstanding buffalo nickel. As the buffalo nickel series continues to grow in popularity, the 1930-60 issue remains an important reminder that history often survives in the smallest objects. What was once an everyday 5-cent coin has become a lasting symbol of American craftsmanship, frontier heritage, and the enduring excitement of coin collecting.